Hey guys, so I just got a new MSI laptop. It's a GE72 6QD Apache Pro, and by default it came with a 7200 RPM hard drive. It did not come with any M.2 SSD installed in it. Excuse me. Although it has a slot for an M.2 SSD. So I bought this online for about 500 gigs of gigs of data that you can store in it. And I was like, okay, let me try installing this into the laptop. And really what I wanted the laptop to boot from this M.2 SSD instead of the hard drive, and then I got this another SSD to replace the hard drive. So the problem is, I saw online that there were many suggestions online how to upgrade your hard drive into an SSD, and one of the options they mentioned is to use some sort of cloning, like a disk cloning software, to clone your partition on your hard drive into your SSD, and then just plug in your M.2 SSD into the laptop and just give it a try, and just boot from the laptop, boot from the M.2 SSD. And things didn't work well for me. I tried to go with that option, and no matter what I try, it didn't work for me. So let me explain what happened with me. So okay, it's restarting now, and let me go to the BIOS. Alright, so what happened is, once I had both the hard drive as well as the M.2 SSD in the laptop, I went to the storage information in the BIOS, and let me make it more legible. So, and let me zoom in a little bit. Let me bring the laptop a little bit closer so we can see. So as you can see, the storage option right now shows an Samsung SSD, that's the M.2 SSD, and then the port 3 shows the SanDisk SSD, right? Which is what I currently have, but before that, this one used to show as the hard drive. But the problem is, even though the BIOS would detect my M.2 SSD, I could not get it to show up in my boot options. So if I go to the boot option 3 here, I would not see the right now it shows up as the Samsung. Right now it shows up here, but before that this was the hard drive. And even the priorities, if I go to this option, this one would not show me the SSD in here. This would always show me the hard drive. And I think the reason for that is because the Windows Boot Manager was installed on the hard drive, and probably it wasn't present on the SSD. So I saw people mentioning online about going and disabling the secure boot menu, and going to the boot menu and try to use some other option here, legacy or the UEFI with the CSM option. None of them work for me. So I actually, then what I decided to go with is I tried to create a recovery disk, a USB recovery disk, using the MSI recovery software in the laptop, and then I booted up here using that USB drive. Well, before doing that, I removed the hard drive so that I don't want to accidentally delete or recover the hard drive, because once you use the MSI recovery manager, it doesn't give you an option to choose one of the available hard drives or SSDs. It just goes with the first one that it can find, and I didn't know which one it's gonna go and recover, so I didn't want to take a chance. So I just removed the the spinning hard drive from the laptop, and then try to recover the SSD, and it picked up the SSD. It didn't show me the M.2 SSD name anywhere. It just started going against the one that it came up with, and after 20 minutes or so, it recovered, and I was able to boot up using the M.2 SSD, and now it shows up here in the BIOS options. So long story short, cloning didn't work for me. The only option that worked for me is recovering the Windows into the USB hard drive, and then use that to recover the partition in the M.2 SSD. So I hope this is useful. When I was looking for information on this online, I could not find any source that mentioned this option, and I was looking for information all day, all night. But now I hope this is useful, and if someone comes across the same situation, maybe this is useful for them. So thank you for watching. Bye.